So good morning, everyone. Today is February 21st. It is President's Day, so I have off of work. Just got back from the gym. You'll see my messy kitchen behind me. Just ran the dishwasher. Some of that needs to be cleaned up, but hey, I'll probably be standing in front of it most of the time, so all's okay. I'm gonna do something unusual. I mentioned the date in this video because I think I'm gonna actually have to edit it. Just something I never do. I rarely even watch my videos after I make them. Well, before I post them. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about health and fitness and vegetarianism and veganism and do some meal planning and some preparation with you guys while I do that. But because I haven't plotted it out in my head, I know some of the ingredients here are going to take a couple hours, and obviously I can't have you on the whole time. Now, if I pick my ingredients and prep the ones that needed to be pre-prepped, we could have this discussion all live time, but that's not going to happen. And I think that for many people, the problem with meal planning and healthy eating is they just don't know how to do it in their own kitchen without it being stressful. So, and that's something I'm actually really good at. So I went through my kitchen and got out all the ingredients because I bought these over the weekend. Babe! Try to get the dog to stop barking. So I bought these over the weekend. They are Italian feast tortellini. My hope is that this will be the only non-vegan ingredient in this. I'm calling it a pasta salad, but it's more like, I don't know, we'll see what it ends up being, but it's going to be one of those cold salad type deals that I intend to be chock full of vegetables and suitable for like a work lunch. I almost wish I'd bought 2 packs of these. Oh dear, my grandma. I almost wish I'd purchased 2 of these because I have the other stuff that I want to put in. I don't know if it's going to have enough. Okay, so the trick for any cold salad is to make sure it has a dressing that you like. I am not a fan of mayonnaise, so therefore anything too heavy on mayonnaise is going to not agree with my palate. So one way I can overcome that is if I'm going to use a mayonnaise base, I could use this lemon tahini, which I believe this is leftover from Hungry Root. I believe, yeah, tahini also has some protein. Now, tahini is a sesame paste. So like if you have a really smooth hummus, the secret to that hummus and the sesame flavor in the hummus is usually good tahini. And hummus usually has lemon juice. So this lemon tahini is actually a great sidestep to making your own shortcut to making your own hummus. Because if you have this, and I have this huge bottle. This is cold pressed Lebanese olive oil. Love this stuff. So olive oil, tahini, lemon juice already all together. And then if you had canned chickpeas, just slap it in the blender and there you have a very basic hummus. I do not have canned chickpeas today. I only have dried chickpeas. That's probably the biggest problem I have. But I think I bought these when I was unemployed last year because I knew they would keep, and they're really, really cheap. So I knew that I'm going to make these today, which is going to make the house smell funny. And then I'm going to use what I need today, keep a little bit in the fridge for meals this week, and then portion the rest of them into these tiny snack bags, which I then put inside a big gallon freezer bag and put them in the freezer. And then when I need just like a serving or an accent of chickpeas, I can grab them out of the freezer in the snack pack. Now, if I did want to make a soup or something where I needed a lot of them, I could pull more than one. Or if I wanted to just empty the whole sack then later and make hummus, I could probably make more work for myself that way. But I know for a fact that if I have a giant bag of frozen chickpeas, that I'm going to be less likely to use them because I'm going to need to eat a lot of them. So I think these are definite because they're the cheese that's in these tortellini. I almost said tortilla. Okay, so this bag is supposed to be 3 servings. And that I'm hoping to get maybe 4 or 5 servings out of this pasta salad. So that means, let's just say for argument's sake, half of whatever the protein is in these is going to be in a serving is going to be what we get in our dish. And that is, wow, So 8 grams of protein. So half that would be 4. Yeah, that's like nothing. I like my meals to have more around 15 or 20 because I try to work out and build muscle, which isn't going very well because I eat a lot of carbohydrates. I eat too much junk food because of stress, but that's why we're trying to get back into good habits. So these would give us additional carbohydrates and also additional protein. So okay, I need to go check that out. Excuse me. Okay, so Big Dumb Dog knocked over Snow Shovel. That's what that was all about. So that was kind of scary. So I was saying chickpeas are going to be a source of protein. Other sources of protein, chia seeds. Might be a little weird depending on what kind of flavor we wanted. But if we're going to go with a Middle Eastern kind of flavor, we could do sesame seeds. Neither of these are going to be a lot of protein, but every little bit adds up. I am out of nutritional yeast. That is a great way to add some protein. Okay, so what else do we have here? The broccoli is going to be a key ingredient for this. And broccoli does have protein as well. So this whole bag of broccoli has, again, 8 grams, which ironically is what a serving. So you can have a third of this bag of tortellini or this bag of broccoli, and it'll be the same protein measurement. So one of the seasonings I have if we decide to go Middle Eastern is za'atar, because za'atar is a sesame blend of seasonings, which would go nicely with our tahini and our sesame seeds. So if I decide I want something a little more American, I have this house dressing. One of my hungry meals. Let's see what the date is on it, just to double check. I'm not seeing one. Okay, Best Buy last week. Let's see what the ingredients are. Olive oil, water, apple cider vinegar, mustard seed, distilled vinegar, maple syrup, garlic. Yeah, so if we're not going to use this today, we're not going to use this at all, I don't think. But this is definitely something that would be up my alley. This would also go well with the spices that I have. I have some smoked paprika and some red pepper from the Mediterranean store in Washington, D.C. And somewhere here. I also have my herbs de Provence from the Mediterranean store in Washington, D.C. I've wanted herbs de Provence for a very long time, but they're very expensive. So, either way, whether we go more American style or Middle Eastern style, I have some roasted red peppers, which will add a little bit of iron, and I do have a tendency to be a little iron deficient. So, wow, there's 9 servings of red peppers in this container, so we're not going to use all of these. So these are in a white wine, vinegar, sugar, garlic, olive oil, garlic powder kind of dressing. Which this is also in a dressing, so I'm hoping these dressings to get together will help lubricate our salad, however we decide to go. And then the definite, and I bought these. This is an olive salad from Park Avenue Market, a local deli that we have here, and it's delicious. But if I put it in the Ninja with some of these other ingredients, it's going to give it some fats and some kind of zip. So I love it. This is a carrot I got at the local deli. $1 for this carrot, this huge carrot. So I'm gonna peel that and then put some of that in the Ninja for some nutrition. And also I have these green peppers that were from Lidl a couple weeks ago actually. Green peppers are really good for vitamin C. I have some extra garlic if we decide to go that route. And then I also have peas. I don't have any frozen peas right now. I only have this can of peas. So this can of peas, there are 3.5 servings in this can, and there are 3 grams of protein per serving. So if we just go by 1 serving of each of these items, we have, I'm only going to do half because we're bulking this out. So we have 4 grams here. We have potentially 9 grams here with the chickpeas, but that's a lot of chickpeas. So even let's just say 4. So 4, 12. 4 is 8. And 3 for the peas, that's 11. We have a little bit for the broccoli, we'll just say 12. And then we add some seeds and stuff, and you see we've already gotten pretty close to 15 grams of protein, depending what else we put in there. So I am going to turn the camera off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse my chickpeas. I'm going to use the boil and set aside method for these, but then I'm going to leave them in the hot water a lot longer than they say, and hopefully that will, yeah. And and then once I get those going, I'll resume the camera and we'll start deciding how exactly we're going to proceed with the salad. I gotta make a little decision making. So chickpeas are definite, tortellini are definite, broccoli and olive salad, definite. So I'm actually leaning towards, I might open up the house dressing and try it. And then while we pick our other ingredients, I'll talk a little bit about why I am putting my meal together this way and what my history as a vegetarian and why I like vegan cooking. And just for the record right now, because if you follow my food post, I am not a vegetarian. I am very much an eater of convenience. So when life gets hard, my principles go out the window and it's more about just getting the nutrients I need versus trying to eat according to principle. And I think for a lot of people that aren't affluent, this is a common problem. So I was unemployed for a while and I have a very shifting work schedule and things get kind of crazy in my house, so we don't always have time to grocery shop. I tried a lot of meal kits. That definitely changed the way we eat, but that's very expensive. And when you're raising a family, or if you're a single mom, or if you just have a job where you don't really make ends meet, you don't want to be spending a whole lot of money on food if you don't have to, which also comes back to the vegetarian cooking thing, because vegetarian cooking, if you do it right, can be cheaper, but it requires thinking and planning and something we don't have time. So if you can minimize the time, like this salad, once I get it done, hopefully will be at least 4 meals. My daughter said she's going to have some of it, but she's probably not going to use it for a meal. So I'm thinking if I can get 3 meals for myself and then like 1 serving that'll just be a side dish for something else, that would be really fabulous. And so those are all the ingredients we have. I think the only spice I didn't show you was I did get the dill out, because you can never go wrong with dill. And then this one that I waved around before is smoked paprika. I don't know if I actually said that. So let me get the water going for all the things that need to boil and cook, and I will talk to you again soon. All right, so about 10 minutes have elapsed. I cut some of the carrot and some of the pepper, so that's probably all I need. Those are my fresh vegetables. All right, so about 10 minutes have elapsed since I paused my last video. This is my 2 fresh ingredients, fresh peppers and that huge carrot. I put them in the Ninja. I have water boiling for my tortellini, and I have my chickpeas coming to a boil. Oh, very, very close. And then I have my whole can of peas in this bowl. Now these peas, because they're from a can, will be a little salty, so that will contribute to our whatever flavor dressing we use for our salad, because I just knocked that. All right, so, and in the microwave here, as it says end, is that broccoli that I was showing you earlier. So I'm actually going to put the broccoli in the Ninja to make it smaller before I put it in. This is going to be our mixing bowl. So, one bad thing about the way I designed this is now where do I put this down? Okay, so what if I put this here? That's not fun. Okay, now, here we go. All right, so we're gonna put this here for a minute so you can see my butts as I put things in the pan. I will be right back because I need 2 hands. Yeah, that's what I didn't want to happen. Okay, well, because I need 2 hands to open my pasta. All right. And maybe you want to put cheese. Okay, so this is ready in 5 minutes or less. So there we are. Oops, that one tried to run away. You'll see on the back of the stove, I kept the directions for the chickpeas in case I second guess myself. I'm actually going to use this one, so let's give this a little stir. Let's see how these are doing. Now chickpeas, you're supposed to let them boil for 2 minutes before you take them off the heat. So it's 11:05 according to that clock. Now let's make some noise. So what we're gonna do, Ninja, best kitchen tool ever. If you make nut butters and heavy duty things, definitely worth the investment, because I've killed a lot of normal food processors trying to make nut butter. But it kind of looks like I'm gonna have to move this forward so I can get the lid on. This is when if my daughter were here, she'd be like, that's the way it goes, Mom. Because I am not mechanically inclined. I have no common sense sometimes. So, there we go. On. They look better? Do you want a little smaller? Do I even need to see what the dog is doing now? Alright, so. Alright, I think I did. Okay, so the dog was barking at a family walking down the street. We have put our little bits of carrot and bits of pepper into the bowl. Tortellini is almost done. I've stirred this several times and I've turned the heat off on that burner because it has been 3 minutes and it said 2. So meanwhile, we are going to open our green giant broccoli. And I think I'm going to put the red peppers in with the broccoli because neither the red peppers nor the broccoli do I want to do very, very teeny tiny. So let's see if we can just set this here for a second. So sorry, this has a tail here. Alright, so into the Ninja that goes. Again, we're trying to get that sauce so we can use it for our dressing. And then these are the red peppers that I got from Hungry Root. So I wish I could get it to stand there. That would be a nice place. All right, well, for just 1 second. And this has a resealable container, so I can put that in the fridge when we're done. Like I said, I don't think we're going to use many, and then I think we need to dump already for totally. So I'm going to turn this off. So these are grilled peppers in both red and yellow, it looks like. And I put about half of them in. They smell very yummy. Put that in the fridge. So I put about half of them in. So the broccoli and the peppers. With the Ninja because I forgot how to use it already. All right, we're gonna, and again, I didn't bother cleaning out. All right, I'll probably do it because we just want it. Ooh, yeah, well, that overdid it. Oh well, it's very tricky with the Ninja. So we got some broccoli paste. No, it's not quite that bad, but it's small, very small. We got little pieces of food already. Dangling off. Alright, we do have more to do with the Ninja, so we're going to set this on the spoon rest. Oh wait, I'll put it on. Oh. Okay, so again, we're going to dump some stuff into there. I'm actually going to wait a second. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the olive salad. So I'm going to turn this off so I can deal with that, and then I will be back again. So this is what we have so far. The only thing missing is our chickpeas dressing or seasoning. I decided to forego dressing of any kind because the different oils and seasonings on some of the things that I put in there blend really well together. So what's going to happen is when these suckers are done, I'm going to mix some of those in, but I'm going to get some containers out and start putting it in smaller containers because it's not all going to fit in this bowl. And then I think when the chickpeas are done, I'm going to sprinkle in a little smoked paprika, and a little roasted red of these Aleppo peppers, and then a little bit of this lemon tahini, and kind of stir those up before I mix them into here. So the chickpeas will have a little, I don't know, whatnot to them. I did taste it. I mean, it had that olive salad, broccoli seasoning, you know, all that kind of stuff flavoring that is zesty, but not any specific cuisine. And, oh, so I wanted to say some of my thoughts about eating habits. Okay, so I grew up in rural Upper Mount Bethel Township, Pennsylvania. It's in Northampton County in the Lehigh Valley. And I moved down to a more urban area, suburban area of the same county. I had friends who grew up on dairy farms, and there was actually a pig farm down the street from my house, and there was another farm behind another friend's house, and another one of my friends had horses, and another one of my friends showed cows and 4-H. So I mean, I understand the farming lifestyle. My separated husband, his grandfather, was a farmer. He was a small farmer, and after a while he had to supplement his income by working in the guitar factory, and he was a master carpenter and things like that. So I mean, familiar with farming. I also served for 6 years, I think, on the Northampton County Penn State Cooperative Extension Board of Advisors, which is part of the Penn State University Cooperative Extension, where all the agricultural research they do at the university is kind of passed down to the farmers in the different Pennsylvania communities, so that they have that information, like soil testing and advances in agricultural practice and things like that. I went to a high school where we had agriculture and horticulture as sciences. I took horticulture because I'm not a farmer. We didn't have to take either of them, but it was that or physics. I thought flowers versus physics, I'm in. And a lot of us did that. A lot of us took those courses because it's what we grew up around and it was what we knew. So to me, I don't have a problem with the idea of raising animals for meat or for dairy. If you're looking at small local farmers, the problem is nowadays we have mass agriculture, we have industrialized agriculture, and that's just really scary to me, not only because of the things that the animals go through, but also the additives and the practices that end up getting into our food. So I'm very fortunate that my urban area is in the middle of the same rural area that I grew up in, and I can drive out to one farm and get fresh meat. I can drive out to another farm and get raw milk, and I can get eggs from the chickens that I can actually see. As I was saying before I dropped the phone, I can actually get eggs from chickens that I see running around, and I can interact with those farmers. And you know, no animal husbandry, I guess, is totally cruelty free, especially for dairy farmers, because they have that question of they have to keep the cows pregnant, and what are they going to do with all those calves? A lot of them end up being veal calves. A lot of them end up being shipped off to other farmers who may not be as ethical as the farmers that raise them. I mean, farming in this country is, well, I don't know about the world, so I'm not going to say, but farming is just so screwed up. And we eat so much more meat than we have to. And in general, as Americans, we don't eat nearly enough produce. So I pretty much taught myself how to cook, and I didn't like handling meat, so I kind of became a vegetarian just out of that reason. And I was a vegan for a while just to try it out, and it was actually really cool. My daughter, turns out, is a huge carnivore. So when I was pregnant with her, I had gestational diabetes, and I started eating some turkey and some tuna from time to time, because my gestational diabetes diet for a pregnant woman had me on so much protein that I was having trouble meeting those protein goals without meat. Now, that was also almost 18 years. No, that was 18 years ago, more than 18 years ago. And I've learned a lot since then, and I've learned a lot about beans and lentils and alternative protein sources, because I also don't like fake meats and alternative meat products. I think they're kind of unnatural too. So if you can find the right balance of food that supports the macros you need for your body, and you can keep doing what you're doing, fabulous. I like vegetarian cooking because, as I mentioned with the salad that I'm preparing here, the flavors in the salad primarily come from the olives, the healthy fats, the produce itself, olive oil, garlic. So it's not like I had to make a sauce to make the meat taste better, and it's not like a big old boring chunk of meat, if that makes sense. Now, granted, I enjoy a burger as much as the next person. Could I give up that burger? Yeah. To me, meat is a convenience food, and it really sounds horrible. So I'm trying to get back into my ways, and I'd like to get to the point where I can eat as vegan as possible and give up things like half and half for my creamer, which would probably be the hardest thing out of all of them to give up, because I like my creamer. And it's funny because up until my daughter was born and I married my husband, who comes from a coffee drinking family, and they put real half and half in their coffee, that I never realized how good cream was. But anyway, so those are some of my thoughts. And I have no problem with people that make their own dietary decisions of what they want to eat. But if you're eating a lot of meat, just make sure you're also eating your fruits and vegetables, because that's really where your nutrients lie. Meat is a great source of protein, but your protein should only be a tiny part of your meal unless you're like weightlifting and trying to put on muscle, because in that case, you need to eat a gram of protein for every gram of your body weight, or for every pound of your body weight. So if I want to, my goal weight is 130 pounds and I'm trying to gain muscle, I should be eating at least 130 grams of protein a day. And if I'm not counting my protein, it's very easy for my protein to sink down to 30-40 grams a day, because I'm not a huge meat eater. If you're a big meat eater, the protein packs on really quickly. But vegetable protein, if you eat real vegetables, as you see, there's a lot of small amounts of protein in everything. And if you get them together so it adds up, it can add up quickly and be a lot leaner and healthier than meat. So, I mean, I wish I had my own chickens. I really do. I would love to have my own goat. I would love to know a farmer that raises lamb for meat, because lamb is really tasty. But there's a lot of people out in the world and we all need to be fed. So, I mean, and then I think about all this and think about what I'm trying to do to help the planet as much as the animals, because it's not only about animals, although I work with a cat rescue, for crying out loud. And that's the other thing is I own cats. I foster a lot of cats, and they're always going to eat meat, and animals are always going to be slaughtered, and their byproducts are going to end up in cat food. So even if you buy a good cat food, you're still going to have animals dying for your pet. And especially with cat food, because dogs can be vegetarian, cats cannot. I have a feeling that the conditions in animal factories for pet food are a lot worse than those for human consumption, and I wonder what suffering those animals go through. But is it that idea of you try to do the best you can and at least you've made a small difference, or is it all or nothing? And if you're not going to make a difference, don't change your habits at all. I don't know. It's a personal decision, but sometimes I feel like if I'm trying to eat as vegan as possible, but I'm feeding my cats all these animal byproducts, am I a hypocrite? So just something to think about. But these are all, and I even have to remind myself to take my vitamins. All decisions we have to make, and all decisions we have to make with our health in mind. So I hope everyone has a great day. And the only thing left that I'm going to put in the salad is some of those chickpeas, and it's going to be delicious. So thanks for hanging out with me.